I wish we could have hidden that so that Rich wouldn't hear it, and then we.
Boy, howdy! Is this getting cut out?
Yeah, as soon as you say welcome, that's where it starts.
Okay, welcome to Vaesen and the mythic North, where you all begin. Specifically, you begin in the town of Uppsala, a cold, frigid, horrible, and honestly, place to live in at the best of times, but one of the few places where civilization still has a hold on it as the world attempts to take it back. You all are members of the society. You've recently joined. You have, after listening to Linnea and her pleas to reestablish the society as a way of combating the strange and unusual behavior that the Vaesen have now taken hold of. There has been very unusual things happening as the Industrial Revolution takes hold, as humans move to places they used to avoid, deep and dark ancient forests within the world. But now that encroachment of humanity has occurred, things are changing, and not always for the better. On your day in Uppsala, in the society's headquarters, the old rooms, the ground tables where council members would sit, bearded and non-bearded, older, ancient council members around a long table deciding the fates of Vaesen and human alike, it's dust-covered sheets. As you pull them off, you have a letter slip through your door.
Is that properly sealed?
It's properly sealed as well with coloured wax and everything. Ooh, Brad.
Yes.
Behind you on the desk, it's a letter.
It's like a sword.
Looks like a sword.
There you go. A preview of coming attractions.
Okay, so I could slice down that way, or I could just cut across the top to leave that intact.
I think break the seal. Like
Creative
I think
problem.
go for breaking the seal because
More thematic that way.
I just it has the telos, the meaning of it, the purpose it was meant for.
Yeah.
It is allowed to fulfill.
In future, the seals will be the correct color as well. There is a reason it's not used gold. You're supposed to use, in this constance, you use black, I think.
Ooh. What was that? Because it's a notification of death. Well,
Something along those
I
lines.
mean, we're about to find out. So.
I liked in Taskmaster where one of them just kept ripping it and popping in their pocket. To whom it may concern, I urgently request your assistance. My name is August von Meyer. I am a forest owner and industrialist, and own one of the largest sawmills in northern Sweden, located here in whatever this place is called, Härnösand? Bloody foreign rubbish. Where I am working to modernise this region.
So, is that what he actually says in the letter?
No, that's me saying
Oh,
this.
okay, right. Sorry.
Located here in Härnösand. Got some little dots on some of the vowels. Where I am working to modernise this region. Hopefully remove those dots. To this end, I am procuring heavily forested tracts of land and employing large parts of the local population in said areas. Some time ago, two of my employees, Mr. Gottfried Hammerstrom and his assistant, Nils Lindeskold, were sent to a small village called Farnsta, north of Härnösand. It is located deep in the woods, and the land was said to be highly fertile and abundant with forests. Hammerstrom was therefore responsible for ensuring a transaction between the villagers and yours truly. But now, alas, tragedy has struck. One night, poor Nils returned on horseback, wearing nothing but his nightshirt. He was in a frantic state, rambling about some evil beast he beheld in the village. Nils has not been the same since and can barely speak. Hammerstrom is missing, and I fear what may have befallen poor Gottfried. I sense that something is amiss. There is more to this place than meets the eye. That's why I am writing to you. I would like to enlist your services in uncovering the truth about what has happened to Hammerstrom and stopping the beast mentioned by Mr. Lindskold, at any cost. You come very highly recommended, and your expertise would be invaluable in our current predicament. Should you accept this task, you will of course be richly rewarded. Please reply with utmost haste, for time is of the essence. I shall wait for you in Harnesand to explain more and arrange your trip to Farnster. Sincerely, August von Meyer.
Was that addressed just to the society or to us?
Just the society.
When's it dated?
It is dated. Let me double check.
So
Is it like within the last? It's recent rather than
Fairly
historical.
recent. Yeah, not historical.
So where,
So
where,
Harnesand is here.
and where are we in relation?
We're at Uppsala, which is
Very far south.
Yes.
Oh,
The
wow,
train
okay.
journey will be quite long.
Uppsala's here.
Wow. Okay. And then-
Farnster is not on the map, so I assume it's somewhere in this bit
In the
of
forest north.
Yeah.
It is in the forest north. It is not on the map because it is such a remote village that no trains go there. The train journey to Harnstad is a 24-hour train ride with a
Wow.
night spent on board.
Thanks. Okay.
It's a long journey.
So, do we get that this is kind of the role of the society in the fact that people will report problems to them and then we go out and investigate?
When people go missing, when strange things occur, when people whisper of red eyes in the dark. That is your role.
Cool.
This Mr. von Mier must have heard of you in order for you to know, for him to know that you were the right people to contact. The Society was a powerful organization in its heyday. Perhaps those who are of the right age still remember it as such.
Well, I suppose. What's the headquarters of the organisation called?
The Society of Uppsala.
The Society building.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
the
Society.
physical building we're in.
Oh, it doesn't have a name. It may have once had a name.
Society
but you can-
headquarters.
Yeah,
like,
Society headquarters. At the moment,
Well, the headquarters could certainly do with sprucing up. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to have an addition to the coffers.
I'm all for it. Let's get right to it.
Yes.
you book passage on a train, and the 24-hour steam train ride begins with a night spent on board.
Are we able to search around the headquarters before we leave for any kind of reference books that would, if they had information already that would be around
About Farnstad,
about Farnstad,
or-
about anything that might be in
Sure.
Farnstad?
You
Ooh,
can-
I would like to peruse my book collection.
You
Wait, no, it's camera for the location, isn't it?
Yes, the camera is the one. No, the book collection is also relevant here as well.
Okay, can I use both? I don't know how the camera would work in this situation.
You could use one or the other, I would say.
Okay, I'll go for the book collection because it seems less physically impossible.
Cool. Skills. So, I believe you want learning
Yep.
or investigation, either of which would work in this case.
Learning.
Sure.
7.
No successes.
You find nothing. The society's libraries and coffers and vaults were apparently picked clean.
Has the library, has this library books been sold off as well, or the majority of them anyway?
I guess I'll use my own book collection. 1 success.
One success. So, as you're looking through your books about Harnesrad, Tharbonmier, about this tiny, insignificant village, you find nothing about the village, which is alarming. It must be exceptionally remote. Harnesad, though, and von Mier himself, you do know something. He is quite wealthy and has been quite aggressive about purchasing and buying properties all over the area, specifically around forested areas and those kinds of things. He is quite wealthy, but has managed to maintain his reputation by always hiring local workers, so that he is both liked and rich, which is a rare combination.
Are there any regular problems that would affect the train line? So, so it's a 24-hour. Is the train likely to be attacked? Is that something that would commonly occur?
So this is something. Make a learning check. Anyone can make this. So learning logic.
0 successes. I'm going to be saying that a lot.
0 successes. If I add the dice together, it will be enough.
It may be enough for 1 success.
Yeah.
2 successes.
2 successes. So you can use your extra success to so you get all the information basically.
So this was learning, wasn't it?
It was.
Oh, I like because I get to roll an extra dice if I use my book.
Sure.
Books. It's still only 2 successes.
Okay. So that would actually give you a bonus experience point that you can use at a later date because you got a bonus success. You don't get anything extra for having more successes in this case beyond that. But what you do learn is that iron, which is what most of the train is made of, has a repelling effect on many vessels.
But not all.
But not all. Some are more susceptible to silver, for instance, werewolves, which you would the most common variety there. But other things are also susceptible.
I presume there's nothing in terms of equipment in the headquarters.
No, definitely
That's fair.
cleared out, unfortunately. But
All the silver was sold a while ago, which is a shame in case we encounter any werewolves. But I can imagine they've also stripped the iron and even the lead off the roof.
Looks up at the stars. Yes, I rather think they have.
But you are free to book passage on the train.
Cool.
They question, you're going quite far for, where are your final destination then?
Honestly.
Very well, joining the logging company then. You seem about the right age, but yeah, and
Something along those lines.
Yes, we're meeting a colleague for logistical matters. Sorry, who is it?
it's the train.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The train master. He's kind of like getting your tickets.
Is the train only passenger coaches?
It will be passenger coaches and freight as well.
Okay.
He'll look at your dog and say, "Does your dog require a muzzle?
No,
It does not bite."
it will, but only if I tell him to.
Extremely well trained, sir.
Yes.
No concern to be had.
Very well. I trust if anything untoward occurs, you will shoot the animal.
Yes.
Very good. Hands you 3 tickets. You can. Your resources are 2. Yeah. The first class captains, of course.
Of course.
Very well.
Of course.
And you all are boarded onto the train. As you
Help myself to the complimentary port.
Yep, there is of course complimentary port.
That's nice.
The various people come by and they offer you treats and snacks and food, and even for your dog, a small dog treat as well.
Point of clarification: he had a problem with the dogs, which I can understand because it's a hunting dog, but no problem that we're. What's the policy regarding open carry? Because I've got a hunting rifle.
You can have anything, including, worryingly, a bazooka.
Yes, actually, yes.
Is it you're allowed them on your person, or for the purpose of the train, they're kind of there's a storage locker, or is it?
They don't care.
They don't check weapons in.
They don't check weapons at all.
I think I for sure have mine in a trunk, in like a steamer trunk kind of thing.
This is an era before even World War One. So there is like the kinds of rifles you would have, even like no one's ever thought about a weapon in that context. And you look like a hunter. You're wearing a rifle. He looks like a military officer.
Yeah.
He's supposed to have a rifle.
Gotcha, yeah. I'm just trying to get a feel for
And I have
the.
the deadliest weapon of all.
The most recent war would be
pen.
the end of the revolution, the French Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
And from which even did affect some parts of Scandinavia, but not to the extent that.
And not up at Uppsala.
And no,
Denmark.
they would have gone. You're just getting on a train. You're not going to rob us, or you don't look like a
Yeah,
person.
it's
I look like a gentleman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a British gentleman.
Oh, fine.
I didn't know if it was a case of they're fine if you look like you're the part, or whether everyone's carrying because once you get off the train, like how much have the Vaesen permeated the culture?
No. The only people who are acutely aware of them are the people with the sight, and those are rare.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are there any other passengers on the train?
There are, yes, of course.
And do any of them appear to be Vaesen?
Make a... Is it vigilance? Yeah, make a vigilance check.
I would love to.
can I do the same?
2 successes.
And
Ooh.
as I've got my dog with me, does that also? Because he just adds to vigilance.
I'll voluntarily take -1 to this because I'm too busy horsing.
I honestly, I can tell you truly that I wanted this character to never succeed. I genuinely was hoping to get to the end of the session and never get a success.
I got a success.
I got one success.
You all got success. In that case,
You got how many
You got
successes?
two. Nice.
Oh.
there is a man on the train. There we go. That's the one. There's a man on the train. The first appears to be a long cloak, very, very similar to you in a hunter kind of garb and look. But on the second look, when the sight kind of kicks in, the face becomes gaunt, the eyes become sunken. There is a loss of flesh around the mouth and jowls as they kind of like recede backwards, and there's just long, like toothy maw. And one eye glows bright blue.
And do we know what kind of creature he is?
You can make
Is he a Draugr or something?
No, that's not the one. Where's the one that's like I learn things?
Learning?
Learning. There is a learning one. I'm not exactly. Yeah.
Two successes.
Two successes.
No, none for me.
Because this is a fast action, I probably can't use any of my stuff.
I suppose if you wanted to look them up later.
Yeah.
I like these ones because they have a little pumpkin on the 6.
No.
No successes on 6 dice.
So no successes. Two successes.
None.
None. You believe this to be a revenant hunting its prey,
Oh.
but the prey doesn't appear to be on the train because it is simply at the bar in the train waiting.
Can I, so everyone has spotted that this is a
Is a Vaesen, but you're the one who knows what it is. And a
I will-
revenant specifically is like a D&D revenant. It hunts a very particular target that has wronged them in their life.
an individual who has wronged this revenant.
This revenant specifically. It's
Would
not
they stop living like a D&D revenant once they catch the guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we don't cause any harm to them, they won't cause any harm to
And there could be justifiable reasons for this revenant existing in the first place. And the revenant doesn't necessarily have to be a human. It could be a dog. It could be a cat. It could be a squirrel. It could be like literally anything.
I think at this point, like,
Could it be cake?
do I get the vibe that Lila is a bit hot-headed and a bit fighty? Or would I understand that from our shared history?
Yes. She wants to hunt a legitimate target, though.
Okay.
There's
So it's not like she's just going after anything that is Vaesen.
no, but her eyes have been opened, and now she wants to find the bad ones,
Sure.
the ones that did things to her.
I have 2 additional questions, if I may.
You may.
The first is, do Vaesen know that we can clock them? Grim style, are our eyes pools of darkness?
No, they're not pools of darkness. No.
And secondly, do Vaesen have a sense of community?
Some do. It depends on the Vaesen. A revenant does
With
not.
2 successes, a revenant would a revenant even know about other Vaesen?
It might not. It might, in its life, whatever it was, it might not be aware of its life. Some Vaesen are specific to their task, like a revenant is, and some are more like fairies and have communities and groups. In this case, a revenant specifically is a vengeful spirit after somebody specific, and it's on this train for a reason, heading in the same direction you are, at least for now. The train ride from where you are to
24 hours.
is a very long train ride. It could get off at any
Is there a dining car?
Sure.
Cool. I think I'll keep an eye and make sure. I'll say, we have like a private carriage.
Yes.
I believe that gentleman to be a revenant.
Revenant.
Encountered
Fascinating.
one in Canada. Yes, they set about their task of hunting down those who have wronged them. Unless Mr. Mayor is one of such individuals or those working for him, I do not believe it would be causing random disturbance. It is dedicated very much to a certain task and a certain individual or beast or group that has wronged it.
It's seeking retribution.
Yes.
I can understand that motivation.
He gives you a very sad look. Like, Sir Thomas is a big sad boy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Just,
Is it intelligent? Is it capable of conversing?
most certainly. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Most certainly.
Fascinating.
I think if there is an option, I'll keep that for when it gets off as well, and make a note in my. Thomas, I think, is a big diarist, and keeps those diaries incredibly closely guarded because they contain all the bad things.
All bad things he did.
But I think we'll make a note in the diary where the Ronin gets off. He does.
Yeah, and a character. If your character dies, Joshua is having those diaries.
I think actually that might be part of the agreement I've made with you.
Yeah.
As it's a 20. Obviously, I don't know how long the reference going to be on there, but can I make a brief sketch of what it looks like for the societies?
We got to start building up them grim diaries, yo.
Cool. Okay, cool. I don't know if you want to check for that, but I'll sketch something into
To sketch a thing is no check at all.
Cool, perfect.
You draw this thing out. It
Yeah.
sits at the bar, and it has this odd thing where the bartender who doesn't have the sight like you do hands him a drink, and when he grabs it, it's this huge clawed hand that just seems to devour the cup and just disappears, and he just continues to sit there and drink. The bartender seems to have this odd look at him every so often, like he should be able to see through it, but then it just passes. And
So that's what we're used to for people who don't have the sight.
yeah, they kind of have this really strange.
It's not like this guy is just developing it and he's about to have a real bad day.
He has,
Oh, look, there's his trauma!
So in order for somebody to develop the sight, they must experience a significant traumatic event. Simply witnessing a Vaesen on its own is usually not enough. Although in the case of a revenant, it might be. If it were to see the revenant attacking its victim, that might be enough.
Because then you've got the cognitive dissonance of something that looks like a person doing stuff that people don't do.
Yeah. And then the sight would trigger, and then you would see as it were.
Gotcha.
As you travel further, do you have any other actions with... at some point, actually, the ticket collector comes by, and he comes... tickets, please. Tickets.
Holds it up and
Yeah.
really look.
Are you terminating in...
Harnessant.
Harnessing, yes. Are you terminating in Harnessant? Or are you on to parts greeter?
No, that's the end of the line.
Yes.
Very well.
Meeting with a colleague.
Client.
Very well.
Yes.
Enjoy your journey. Chucks you in the sleeper car.
Does the Revenant get off during the journey?
He does. He gets off in Gefle.
Okay, so he's not going very far at all.
He wasn't going very far at all. He just needed to get there quickly. He tips his hat to the bartender as he leaves and exits the train and moves with a purpose.
So let's check the newspapers in Geflin if we get back.
As the train heads further afield.
Then again,
eventually-
if somebody does murder someone, then there's nothing we can do about it from either direction because it'd probably just die.
Yeah.
As the train heads further north and the day gets long and eventually descends into night and disappears. The sun below the horizon gone. And now you can sleep to the night while the train thunders onwards.
Cool.
The morning comes and you are still heading further north. However, it doesn't take long before you are at your destination in Hannerstrand. The large port town, not the largest in Sweden, but a good size. Your arrival in Hannerstrand is marked very quickly as if Van Meher knew you were coming, or had some indication that perhaps Linnea rode ahead and said you were en route. As the steam whistle fills the air at the station along with the clouds of black smoke, you arrive in, you exit the train, and greeting you is August von Meher. Can I do the button? Show.
Oh, cool.
And definitely human.
Definitely human.
Cool.
August von Meher is a very wealthy and successful industrialist in his early 50s, though his name might suggest a noble birth. of some kind. He has a fantastic mustache, close-cropped hair, and wears a tailored suit that some of the buttons have come up undone on the very top. He's quite a hard-working man for especially for one at his station. Welcome to Harnstrad. I trust your journey was good.
Sufficient.
That's very good. I am pleased that you have to make it to my. Please, let us retire from this station. We must go to. We must go to my offices where we can
somewhere a little more private.
Discuss things in private. Yes.
Of course.
Seems a little. We cannot use. We will use the other ones. My assistant's office, my current office is being indisposed. I will explain when you get there.
Yes, of course.
He takes you to his assistant's office. He takes you to the kind of dock workers where they're loading lumber from that is traversed from the river that comes down from further north. Basically, pulls down all the four. Like you can see as you came in the station, there were logs coming down this huge river and being funneled into the sawmill. The noise of this place is amazing. A cacophony of the blades spinning through wood and turning it into planks for further things. And you see ships coming and going, great steamships traveling in and out of this port constantly. Yes, thank you for coming. I have already said your journey was well. This is good.
If I may, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, you may.
Von Mayor?
Von Mayor, yes. Von Mayor or my Mayor, or you may call me August.
Mr. Von Mayor, how did you become aware of our presence again at the Society headquarters?
Oh, my grandfather, he once had an encounter with some beast, he said. Then he contacted the Society and they were very quick to help and deal with the problem.
So you were not aware of the Society's recent absence?
I had heard that they had come under troubles, but then I assumed that they had some kind of revival, as you are now here. And I was mostly reaching out as a last-ditch effort before I simply gave up in Falster.
Very well.
But on to the specifics of why I have caught you here. The Falster is far to the north, isolated, but a fertile valley where great trees grow, and I'm hoping to expand my operations there and install a new sawmill, steam-powered, so that I can bring more lumber down the river and increase my considerable wealth, which I hope to pass on to all of you if you can assist. As a small cut to the Society to help. But, unfortunately, my associates, I spent Hammerstrom and Lindskold, were tasked with purchasing the lands on my behalf. They left for Falster 2 weeks ago, and it is, as I've said before, it's very important for me. But eventually Niels Lindskold came back screaming incoherently. Would not make any sense of it all, and I have not been able to locate Hammerstrom.
Maybe speak with Nils?
Ah. Do you remember when I mentioned that my office was being indisposed? Niels is currently being held inside there to protect himself. Harnstrad does not have an asylum for me to send him to. I was going to have him transported to Uppsala, but it is a long journey and he has been proven quite violent. You are welcome to speak to him. He is in one of his more quiet phases. I have not heard his scream in hours.
Of course. How long ago did he return?
About a week ago. I said I noticed as soon as I realized what was wrong.
And has he given any indication of the encounter?
He says one thing over and over again. He says he saw a dark beast with eyes that looked like they came from the pits of hell. Red eyes in the dark, he says, over and over. And not much more.
Do red eyes, a beast in the dark? That's quite a generic description.
It's a bit too vague, yeah.
To your knowledge, was the transaction ever completed?
I have not. I don't know. Unfortunately, at the moment, I am understanding that Hammerstrom was supposed to be there to do that. Linscott was only there for. He was there to provide horses and bodyguards. Apparently, he failed in that.
I see.
But I do not know what happened to her. It's possible that the transaction has gone through, and I am in the proud owner of several acres of land in Farnstra.
Okay. We'll look into it.
Let's speak with Nils, that'd be appreciated.
Of course, he is in the room next door. He listens for a second, and just the only thing that can be heard is the sound of the saw just churning through trees. No, there is no screams. You would hear it over the saw blades.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, can we try and head into the room?
So you
Yes,
go
I'll
up to
be
the room.
bringing up the rear.
There are large chains that bar the room, and there's a huge, heavy padlock to kind of seal the room.
I think I hand my saber and pistol to you so they're not within grabbing reach.
I'd step back further.
Von Mier takes a key out of his coat pocket.
Just before you unlock the door,
Yes.
do you have access to opium?
Laudanum.
A lot of them, of course I do. Use it for to go to sleep sometimes. I will bring it.
Yes.
Bring
Just
you
in case
a jar of opium.
Yeah, just in case he proves to be too energetic.
Very well. Are you ready? I should warn you, the opium has limited effect on him.
Interesting.
Unlocks the chains slide through the latch and the keys and
Think
slide
I'm-
around the
I
thing.
take off my officer's kind of style jacket just in case it comes to gonna limber up.
It's like-
That's what I'm gonna do. Gonna limber up.
The door opens slowly with a creak.
The guy's name's Nils, yeah.
Niels. I get
Nils
so I have a friend of mine.
Lindström?
Niels Lindström. My Swedish friend told me how to do all of the pronunciations for
Yeah.
these, and I've gotten, I think, close.
So Nilslinds.
NILS and Linskolt.
Linskold.
Yeah, there's an I know there's 2 dots over the O. So inside
I believe.
there is a. You don't think he's in here at first. It's a office. Most of the furniture has been removed. It looks like they've taken anything sharp, pointy, or cornered out of the room. And in the corner is a bundle of rags. And it's only after a moment you see it shake as the door opens and closes that you hear, you says,
Mr. Lindström. My name is Sir Thomas.
red eyes in the dark. A devil's eyes. He stared. Hammerstrom.
I suppose you're wondering if people believe you, and many don't.
Red eyes?
I do, Mr. Lindström.
You've seen the red eyes of the devil.
And much more besides, I assure you. You are safe in this place, Mr. Lindström.
Am I? It chases. It howls. Church bells. And then death.
Can I be having, someone writing fury,
Yeah.
turn to my diarist and, yeah. Church bells, you say?
A church bell.
Are those the church bells of Farnstra?
Hush. Don't go there. No. They have God's blood on their hands. Murders. We were told. No. Grim red eyes. In the dark. Running so fast. Don't let it get me. He just retreats. Like a turtle.
It shall not.
He's still human looking, yeah?
Yeah,
It's not a Vaesen. Yeah, I was going to say that's the-
So she's stood by the door, so she's not near. Just for clarification.
I'm sort of
purposes.
halfway across the room, I think.
Sure. He
Low pose, non-threatening.
Yeah, he's talking to you, but there's like he's mostly not looking at you. He's looking at the windows, the doors. He's kind of just keeping an eye on things.
Do you know your friend, Mr. Hammerstrom? What happened to him? Eaten.
Killed. Murdered. Eyes in the dark. 2 eyes. Red eyes. Devil's eyes.
Okay.
The devil's eyes. Did they belong to a creature or a man?
The devil's eyes.
At what height? 3 feet from the ground?
The horse ran. The horse didn't run fast. Not fast enough. Hammerstrom fell. I watched him fall. I did not stop.
It howled, red eyes. Did you smell anything? Was it cold? Was it warm?
Red eyes. He just kind of goes back
Yep.
into a loop.
Yeah. Is there any kind of jet we can make to like pacify and stabilize and get a little more sense?
You
or?
can make a medicine check. Anyone. A medicine skill
That was
check.
the wrong number of
Medicine precision.
Surely this is a mental condition, though. Frightened.
It is, but you're more trying to determine the status of what's wrong with him,
Fair
and then from that you can maybe do something sort of.
Is this
Bagel.
potentially prescribing? Is it laudanum?
Laudanum is a mixture of opium and cocaine, I believe.
So probably not cocaine. I don't want to.
No, it's a mix.
Yeah, I know.
A
But
bit of up and up and a bit of a downer. I'll double check that.
It's not, and in this society, it's perfectly fine. Everyone's using it.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But if
Everyone
you're
of their mums is using it around here.
but if you're looking as a sedative effect, there's probably pure opium.
Opium and morphine, I beg pardon.
Oh.
Then yes, laudanum.
2 downers.
Yes. 2 successes.
No,
Two
the rebels
successes.
take the edge.
Double check. This is the one. There's like a specific thing about him. He appears to be suffering from severe shock. And occasionally, when you kind of like are trying to examine, you're doing it from a distance, and he just goes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, was that just a general scream, or is he trying to
Does he
imitate a
sound like
bird?
a bird, or sound like the creature, or is he just screaming?
He is just screaming.
Just scream.
He
okay,
just
cool.
he just goes
Good
into
night.
it. Yes,
Good night.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we, I feel like gotten everything we're going to get.
I think
You
we.
exit the room, and Van Meer is there.
Could I, before we go, just try and do an inspiration roll to try and make him not easier to talk to, but at least calmer, so he's
Sure.
like
So
not
for-
screaming so hard
for
he
his
destroys his
well-being.
own. Yes,
Sure.
screaming so hard he destroys his
Well,
own throat and things like that.
Make a
Yeah.
welfare check.
Yeah, sure. I'll let you
Yeah.
make that one of those checks. Sure.
Two successes.
2 successes.
Nice.
So, I will give you something because you got 2 successes. He calms enough that you feel like you can approach him. Like there is a moment where lucidity comes back to him. It may be because you are not dressed the same. You're not a hunter. You're not an officer. You're not Von Meer, who's quite intimidating because he's quite a big guy, or any of the sawmill workers. But you're smaller. You're a writer. You're
I've got soft hands and a bit of a belly.
Yeah, soft hands and a bit of a belly means you're the least threatening thing he's seen, and he looks at you very closely, and he just goes, "The church bell, death. The church bell, death.
Judge Bell death.
If you see it, you're too late."
If we see the bell.
The red eyes.
Red eyes.
Okay.
And then just
Retreats back inside. Could I have a word with Mr. Mayor again?
Yes.
Mr. Von Mayor.
Yes, I am very sorry.
mentioned
That
that
is the most stable he has been in some time. Thank you for whatever you've done. This day has been good for him. I hope that someday he will return to good health. But I do not think that will be anytime soon.
You mentioned your grandfather contacted the society about a beast.
Yes,
Do you perhaps have his diaries, writings, letters, correspondence at the time?
I kept none of that stuff. I am, while I am very fond of my grandfather, the Russians were not very fond of him. So, unfortunately,
Did you tell his stories? Was there anybody who might have known your grandfather?
Oof, it has been some time since anybody's asked about him, but the stories that I remember about the great beast that he found was something about moons and the light of its light. A beast.
What moon phase are we in right now?
You are about 2 weeks out from a full moon.
Which means so 2 weeks ago it was a full moon.
Yeah.
Is there a silversmith in town?
Yes, I think so.
You're a wealthy man, Mr. Von Mayor.
I certainly am, yes.
I would advise you to purchase as much silver as you can and keep it about your person.
It's funny you should mention that. My grandfather always wore a silver cross. Perhaps I shall begin doing the same. God be with you.
Your payment offered.
Yes, of course. I forgive my manners. I will have it brought to you immediately. Payment now and on delivery of resolution.
How long is the journey time to?
There is no train to
No.
Fansta. It is in a coach ride for it will take the better part of the day. I have made arrangements already, and I have sent word ahead to the lady who will put you up for the day in Fansta. The woman I was contacting. It is an old place, but it has its properness as well. Marta Kostrom, she will put you up. She owns the sawmill there.
Yeah, so can we visit a silversmith based on the amount he's offering?
He if you wish to purchase anything silver, like a silver, I say sure.
Silver cross?
blades, silver crosses.
Bullets!
Sure. It's not the most unusual request the silversmiths would have gotten, so I'll just hand wave it. Sure, you get a say that's not a clip. What is it called in this era? An amount of silver bullets. Say 6.
Yeah.
The silver is still quite expensive.
We'll split.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a ranged weapon with a gun? Yeah.
I don't need any weapon.
No, I took
I
no weapons.
I think I go to split the silver bullets 3 and 3, and then move another one into my right hand and pass those to
So am I getting?
4.
Oh, I'm getting 4. Ah, okay.
Okay.
But you mean you stole 2 more from the?
No. So if we get 6 total,
So
I
it's
take
3
them
and
from the
3.
jeweler. I split them 3 and 3 in my hand, and then I look at these ones, move 1 into here, and hand line of the 4.
So I'm getting 4 versus the 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
And a crucifix, perhaps.
Yes, of course.
I'll take one of those.
It's difficult to piece together the mumblings of what I would have said was a madman, but clearly someone who's seen
Could-
something awful.
We make any kind of check to link up things he said: full moon, beast, red eyes, etc.
Yeah, you can make
Like,
a.
obviously, Joe has a suspicion out of character.
a learning.
that I think
Yeah, you can
my
make a
character
learning
would
check.
share there.
While you're walking around town, there is a notice, not a notice board, but like a church notice board, actually.
Yeah.
A church notice board,
Bulletin board.
with like a bulletin board with like various news stories. And one of the news stories is man hanged for selling weapons. Many children murdered as a result. Unstable explosives used. Children killed. Great national tragedy.
Is that referring to a specific historical event?
It's just something you see as you walk along on this bulletin board. Along with actually a whole bunch of book reviews for your latest book. All glowing reviews, things about, and also the news story from yours as well, republished.
Franklin's expedition discovered.
Yeah. The book reviews detail things about how the writer has really grown and changed. Yours details like the
Cannibalism.
Yeah, it does. It details the cannibalism and.
Is this the Admiralty story has been republished, or is it the
Lady
more Franklin's response?
It's yellow journalism, very sensationalism kind of stuff. The cannibalism story sold more papers, so it ended up in more places.
Is there such a thing in this system as like what would be a composure check or a whiz save or that kind of thing?
There is actually
Roleplay advisory.
there is like a fear test which you can do, which is kind of.
Could I make a fear test?
Yeah, and I believe you use whatever your lowest mental stat is.
Is that logic or empathy?
Yeah,
So I've got 3 in both.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
So just 3 dice.
Mm-hmm.
No successes.
You may take with whatever.
I think you see, like, Sir Thomas is not like a stout and hale man. Like, he's clearly like got more gaunt. There's nothing where there used to be muscle rather than fat. He's sort of a bit of a wasting guy, and you see him sort of clutch a hand over his heart and lean against the the gate post of the church, and then fully vomit.
No, I know. I don't think it was my best work either.
Lila will kind of run to steady you.
Pay me no mind, Digger.
She will glance at the notice board, but with a success on her save, no more information is given. Yeah, she'll look to steady you, make sure that you're okay.
Yeah, I think he's quite resistant to that,
Yeah.
as you might guess. Yeah. Oh no. Very well.
I have a thought. He referred to the church bells and then death. Now, we're assuming that it is the death brought forth by the red eyes of the creature, but what if it also referred to the graveyard, and the thing came from the graveyard?
Possible. Is there a Vaesen knowledge check we can make in that regard?
You can make a. It will be a hard check, so
Yep.
you need to at least 2 successes.
Yep.
Learning logic.
So,
2 successes. 6, 6, 5, 3.
oh, nice.
I was going to roll and add my book.
I will roll, but yeah, no successes for me.
Only the 1 success.
So, the thing about the bell strikes you. There's an old story about something called a church grim that guards and protects churches specifically, and attacks sinners and things that disturb and
I vomit again.
hurt the church.
Continue.
I chose the story specifically. And the other thing is that the moon does line up, but that could just be a red herring. And a werewolf, while big and dangerous, doesn't necessarily hunt like that. And if there was a werewolf in a village, it probably wouldn't be a village for very long.
And as far as we know, there's been no other news out of in Hardeston, at least, that there's been any other attacks other than your man.
Other than Hammerstrom, yeah.
And what was Hammerstrom's goal? It was to.
He was there to buy land on behalf of Von Mier.
I think I want to have another word with Von Mier.
Okay, yes, 5.
I would also like to, prior to this,
Sure.
do like a knowledge check of under what circumstances does a church bell ring in this region?
That's such a good question.
That'd be a learning logic check. because this is testing your existing knowledge rather than you investigating anything.
Mm-hmm. 3 successes.
3 successes. So, specifically, church bells ring in response to weddings, and to deaths in a very specific way, and the notification of beginning and end of service, I think is how they work.
Vespers and etc.
Yeah, so there's like various ceremonies and things like that. The way that he's describing it is none of those.
Yeah. So it might be worth investigating
The church itself.
well, and anyone in Farnster
Fansta.
who could say why bells might be ringing on that particular day.
Fansta is very remote as well. It could still be practicing pagan rituals as well. It's remote enough for that to occur. Christianity isn't.
It's not universal.
Not yet. Not in Sweden, anyways.
I would like to have a word with Mr. Monmare.
Yes.
Your,
How can I help you?
what would your... Should you be successful in your purchase of land,
Yes, of course.
what would you wish to do with the town of Farnster, for example?
I would keep us where it is. It will still be necessary to cut the lumber and there and ship it down the river to us to be distributed across the Sweden. The forests are what's valuable.
Is there a church in Farnster?
Yes.
A Christian church?
Yes.
Because a church grim wouldn't necessarily be only protecting a Judeo-Christian church. Could it also protect, for example, a temple or sacred grove, that kind of thing?
Yes.
It's not associated with Abrahamic religion, is what I'm saying.
Correct.
Cool.
Yeah. Yes, there is a church in Farnster, as far as I'm aware. It is
But
still
you were
there.
not intending to demolish any part of the town?
Well, the sawmill, of course, and you can make a observation empathy roll. Anyone?
I am definitely going to do that.
No successes.
Well, he makes some rolls as well because he has a thing.
Ooh!
I get to roll dice. I haven't gotten to roll dice yet.
Hey! Yeah.
2 successes.
That's very good. He is holding something back when he says it would only be the sawmill. There is something else he has left out.
Sir, I
Ash?
feel like you're holding out on us. This could be very important to our well-being.
You can make me a
Manipulation?
manipulation empathy roll, please.
It is in your best interest.
2 successes.
To be honest, sir, because should you conceal information from us, all it will lead to is painful deaths and your problem continuing.
I am assuming at the moment that Hammerstrom I am hoping that Hammerstrom is simply missing. I hope that he is. You will find him alive and well wherever he is. But to answer your question, I am under the idea that right now there is something of value in the church grounds, an iron deposit. I am hoping that we will be able to extricate the iron without destroying the old church, but it may be necessary. And of course, if that were necessary, I would rebuild the church in a new location at my cost.
How aggressive was your associate instructed to be with regards to negotiations?
He was supposed to pay whatever the villagers required. There was no context of amount of money that I would be willing to spend. The iron ore and the lumber in the area are infinitely valuable. I was more than willing to relocate the entire village if necessary. And I was always going to use local labor.
Mr. Von Mel,
Yes.
are you a man who wishes to live a long life?
I have lived a very long life. I'm 50 years old these days. That is longer than my father and my grandfather, so I have done well
wish
to
to
live.
For the rest of your God-appointed 3 years and 10?
I hope to do so, yes. Why?
I am most glad. I would advise you to relinquish your ambition. The lumber, fine. But there are older things in this world. And the trees you are cutting down.
Isn't that what you are there for? To make these things go away and...
Sir, you seem to be under the impression of the guarantee of our success.
I remember the stories of my grandfather. They said that you were very successful.
We are not the Society of Old, sir. We are merely people who've seen too much and wish for a few more answers.
Very well.
But we are being paid to try.
Oh, yes.
I would not
Yes, we
want
are.
you to risk your lives for nothing. I will be paying for a considerable stipend for this society, and perhaps I could be a great benefactor going forward. And
I merely mean if we are not to return.
if you were to, yes.
I would advise
if
to leave the church intact.
I will not be sending anyone further after you. You are my last hope, as it were. If you are successful, then the society will flourish, and you will be a big part of the new, if that is what is to be. If you were to die, then I would continue on my logging and leave Farnstra to be consumed by the natures of the world.
We understand each other.
Good. Of course, I do not have the power to bring sentence army or anything, so... Well, your coach awaits if you have no other business in Hammerstraw.
Are we able to... Oh, so do we get like the regular provision taken as part of the expenses? Cool.
Yep. You have food, and there's no worry about running out of food in the middle of nowhere.
Cool.
Yeah. The coach driver, it knows where he's going, but mumbles under his breath, I don't want to go to the place. That's a godless place. They are cursed by the blood. They are cursed. They have God's blood on it. And just mumbling to himself.
God's blood, sir?
Tis a rumour, nothing more.
Indulge me.
I'm a writer, you know. I take great joy in hearing all the rumours.
Fansta is supposed to be the police, the people there. The blood of God is on their hands. That is
Which
what the
God?
people say. The God, the blood of God, is upon their hands, and they the place is avoided by all outsiders. But I am not a coward, and I will take you there.
Wake me up when we get there.
Of course. So,
Out of curiosity, what is it that the village is supposed to have done to have stained their hands with God's blood?
As a God-fearing man, I do not know. I simply will drive you there.
I have an idea. Is it referring to the iron leaching into the water and turning water red? You know the bloodstone at Stonehenge? There's an iron-rich stone at Stonehenge which, when it rains, produces red water.
I didn't know that, and
Yeah.
I've been to Stonehenge.
Yeah.
Oh.
It could be.
It's an idea of like if iron is the important thing here.
But nobody here, and given given your knowledge of the location of the iron mine that's underneath the church, it is very possible.
Question: iron mine or iron deposit?
Iron deposit. It's not a mine.
Cool.
Technically,
That's
right now.
and if that right now. That's a really important
Yeah.
distinction.
It's an iron deposit that
Yeah.
exists. Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah. Onwards. Right.
It's the horses, and you into the dark, into the forest. And that one. Hours go by, and the forest closes in around you, and the signs of civilization disappear. And deeper and deeper and darker it gets until it is night, and you finally see the first signs of torchlight and darkness as Farnstra comes over into the view. Right. The sun has already set when you arrive. The tower of the old stone church, an old Middle Ages structure, the only stone structure in the village, can still be glimpsed in the moonlight. The rest of the buildings are cabins and houses exclusively made of wood. The rest of the village is not much to look at. Houses for the villagers, and a modest general store, and post office, and a simple village hall. The stagecoach rolls deeper into the village, and near the end of the high road, you can see the sawmill at the stream. Just weird hand movements, I can see them at the corner of my eye.
That was me hallucinating, Mike going, it's fine, and then me doing the thumbs up.
Okay.
That's for the benefit of the tape.
Yeah.
Hey, Rich.
And then eventually the coach turns off towards the largest, beautifully ornamented building in the village, whose lumber is a testament to its age. And I will give you the different and then wait for Ryan to go back.
Could I make a, in parenthesis, hyper, close parenthesis, vigilance check for while we are travelling?
Sure.
For signs of 2 successes.
As you're traveling. As you get close to the village, or just like on your general journey?
More and more as we get closer to the village.
Okay.
Like, I think he never stops questioningly searching the darkness, but is getting just the odd bead of sweat on the forehead as we get closer to the village.
Yeah, so as you get closer and closer to the village, you go past the general store, you go past the village hall, because the coach has to go all the way through the village almost.
Mm-hmm.
You go past the graveyard and the church. And I'll wait for Ryan to come back.
So we're coming up this way.
You have to go, yeah. Because you're going right to Marta Karlstrom's house, which is all the way at the
So we're
end.
going the whole way around there.
And point of clarification, so the church is the only stone building,
Yep.
as you say. Now, is obviously we can only see that at a glance, but does it look like it was built at about the same time as the other buildings?
No, the church is older than everything else by a significant amount.
It has a graveyard.
Has a very, very big graveyard.
Mm.
Compared to the town, like
That's what I'm saying. Does it look like this is a graveyard that served only this town?
Yes,
But for hundreds of years.
for hundreds of years, yeah. So it's huge. So this church has been here since the 1500s.
Yeah.
I believe it is. Yeah.
Lutheran years,
Very old. Why they built the church out in the middle of nowhere, you have no idea.
I did a play in a Norman church once, which was built in, I think, at like 1070 or something. That's really cool.
You're assuming the church was built in the middle of nowhere, but actually it's more likely that this was a much, much larger town, presumably also made of stone or brick, because it's running by the river, right?
Mm.
And then something happened, and everything but the church.
It'll be worth our while examining the gravestones, see if we can find any statistical patterns in the dates of deaths, if there have been any major losses of life over time.
There was a whole music playlist for Vaesen as well. It was really nice.
I think there was a...
Who's that metal singer who got sent to prison for burning down a church?
You need to be way
Norwegian
more
black-
specific with that.
Norwegian black and death metal. Are we in Norway or Sweden?
We're in
We're in
Sweden.
Uppsala. Yeah, Sweden. Yeah. No, there was a rivalry between one black and one death metal band, because black metal and death metal fans hate each other. One of them burned down a church, and I think someone just murdered another one.
Thanks.
Vikernes. Euronymous was a Norwegian musician and founder of a central figure of the early Norwegian black metal scene. He was a co-founder and guitarist of the Northern Mayhem, and the only constant member to his death in 1993. In August 1993, he was murdered by fellow musician and former bandmate Varg Vikernes. That's what I was looking for. Fantoft. So this is what I have in my brain. That's the Fantoft Stave Church.
Oh, wow.
And it was burned down by a black metal guitarist. Because that's what black metal guitarists do. That was the other picture in the modern day. Oh.
Is Ryan okay?
I'm going to check.
Depends if he remembered his pills or not.
I think he did, yeah.
Okay.
I think he's on his way out. The flush. I really like these are Q Workshop dice. These sets, the black with the coloured numbers on them.
Oh, they're really nice.
Because they all have nice designs on the sixes. Like my favourite is that one.
The jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But they haven't done a full enough to get a rainbow of colours, which annoys me because there's no green ones. Or blue, actually. Did you know there are blue? Yeah, the blue ones. The blue ones are the ones that betrayed me in the Wellspring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just regretting certain choices.
Yeah, I
I
guess.
should have had pizza for lunch and dinner.
Ah. Oof.
I often have that regret myself.
Do you know, there's a thing about people with lactose intolerance.
There's a certain comic or certain Reddit post or something.
Yeah, they will
Is
still...
it like how cheese and chilies, grapes and chilies are the most delicious thing in the world to me?
and they will kill you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least I like pomegranate.
It's like, but I really like, and we'll just keep like, because the Swedish friend who was doing all this, she's also lactose intolerant, and she's like,
Some foods are delicious enough to suffer for.
she suffers a fucking lot,
Yeah.
and she won't even
Big
take
mood.
her pills either. Jesus.
Cool. So we're riding the town.
People who are allergic to peanuts, I can't, it'll kill me. People who are allergic to gluten, I can't, it'll wreck my body. People who are lactose intolerant, humans cannot achieve immortality anyway, and life not lived to the fullest is no life at all. Hand me a gallon of milk.
Yep.
Cheers.
So, the church is made out of stone and is significantly older
At least 300 years.
than the rest of the town, which is all like
Wooden
wooden and recent construction.
Can we see if there are any ruined... Like, when I was coming in, are there any evidence of like ruined stone structures or older stone structures? It's just the church.
It's just the church. It looks like it stands alone, and any stones that were in the rest of the village may have been used in its construction or its in expansion, but there's no other evidence of any other buildings. As for your vigilance check, as you're going by the church late at night, you don't see anything specific, but there feels like there's something watching you in the dark from the church's graveyard. And then you spot the birds. There are at least 2 to 3 dozen crows all along the church's pew, like sills, eaves. That's the word I look for.
Eaves?
Eaves. That's the one. Eaves all along the church's
Like,
eaves,
is it
just
like iron
watching.
railinged?
Yeah, just like
I don't
watching
know.
from above and watching as all their heads turn and watch you as you go trundling past.
I just kind of stare them down. I think with it like. I think
I've still
no.
got-
I
I've still got
think
hatred
you're
for my
still
face.
asleep. Lila, are you watching? Because I don't think he would be concealing this in any way.
So, do you want me to make a? Do I need to make a roll to notice that all of the birds are watching us
Once
in
he
unison?
points them out to
Yeah.
you
I
look
don't
up
think I
and go,
do point it out, but you'll see with no check required that the look, the emotion on Sir Thomas's face is one of resignation.
Yeah.
Does he also go very still
Yeah.
and tenses up?
So, seeing that, I will unpack the rifle, but not. Like, I'm not firing at the birds or something, but it is now.
You missed the
it's-
church.
Church Grims.
Mm-hmm.
Are they susceptible to silver?
Let me check.
What was that about Church Grimstone?
Are they susceptible to silver?
No, what are Church Grims?
That was what we found out about the things that guard churches. Big black dogs. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Always dogs.
Big black beasts.
With red eyes, by any chance?
Yeah.
Well, red eyes, yellow eyes, green eyes, lots of different
All
colours.
of them, and there were multiple of each.
Oh, there it is.
They look like teddy bears. Big toothy paws in the middle of the faces.
Doesn't everything these days?
Nothing you've read says that they're particularly susceptible, but many Vaesen are. It's the same thing with a lot of other
I
creatures.
can't remember what I'm referencing here, but there was some joke. It's like, I can't believe that people say everything tastes like chicken. You can't use that for any other sense. You can't say everything feels like curtains or everything looks like spiders. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So we head into the Karlstrom house.
Yes, you head into the Karlstrom house as the trundles by, and as it goes out of sight of the church, and you keep your eyes on it until the point that you can no longer do so from the coach's windows. You hear this kind of thump as like the pad of a great beast just hits the ground, and then it's just quiet again, like it moved a bit and then just gone. Like,
sorry, what was making this sound?
like a pad of a great beast, like just touching.
We don't see what made this sound.
No.
But
How close did it sound?
But does it sound like it's jumping, say, down from a church roof onto the floor, or onto a carriage?
You wouldn't have heard it if your vigilance wasn't so high. It sounds
okay.
like a cat jumping down from a tree. Like, it could just be a cat.
Oh, right, okay, so it's not like something's landed on our roof.
No.
Right.
That was what I was thinking.
No,
you
no,
meant.
no, no, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
okay.
no, not onto your roof.
Okay,
But
cool.
just-
Well,
Okay, this is fine.
I'm going to act like a cheerleader and get fired up.
Okay, so at this...
What is a cheerleader?
So
Yes.
at this point, reacting to his tension, can I now also make a vigilance check
Sure.
specifically?
Looking for the origin of the sound.
Yeah, and origin of the sound, and are there any other, I don't know, large collection of birds or something, like general oddities?
General oddities.
I'm going to say that I don't get the benefit of my dog as it's in a coach and I'm looking out, like...
yeah, that's
I-
fine.
Sleep on the floor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's resting at the foot of your feet.
so-
just waiting.
The hunting kit
probably still
also...
asleep,
The
so-
hunting kit also wouldn't
Yeah.
kick in, so it's just that many... Nope. Okay. Nope.
No.
So...
You look out, you look into the darkness,
That's...
and you see two eyes staring back at you, yellow eyes of a cat, and it just goes... and then skitters off.
Was this cat of normal size?
A normal sized cat.
Okay.
Normal sized cat.
I kind of almost chuckled
are
to
we aware of
myself.
such creatures being able to change shape and take guises?
Not church grim, as far as you know.
I kind of almost chuckled to myself for being that on edge.
Nothing to be alarmed about.
No. So I'll relax a little bit. I'm not donning the
You
rifle
just
again.
hear from the coach driver, just a cat. It's fine, just a cat. And like, is it like that's more to himself than to any of you?
Yeah.
Just a cat.
Yes. He does snore terribly strangely.
And you approach Marta Kostrom's home. It is one of the oldest and finest houses in Farnstra. It is 2 stories tall, built from dark lumber with exquisite nature motifs carved into the facade. Out front, you see Marta Kohlstrom herself. She is... There we go. There you go. An intense-looking woman with quite sunken cheeks. She is in her 40s. Somewhere in that range, you're not sure exactly where. She wears her hair up in her blonde hair in a neat bun, and as you approach, she just goes, "Welcome, Welcome to our village. Is there something that I can make for you after your long journey?
A spot of tea would go down quite
Rooms.
wonderfully.
If you may.
Of course. I have bunks prepared for you. Von Meer has already made me aware of your...
Search.
Yes. Right.
I would.
Tomorrow I will
yes.
give you a tour, I believe. It is late.
Yes,
Tea would do it.
I would just like to state for the record that I have no intention of tearing down the church. That is not our purpose here today.
She looks at you like oddly. That is good to know, but I had under no impression that that was going to be the case, unless something has changed. I assumed he was here to purchase the...
Forgive us. The
Force.
ways of the members of the society are sometimes strange.
Very well. Please, come in. And she ushers you inside, and the coach driver takes your luggage from the coach, puts it down in front, and servants bring the things inside. There's only two. They're well dressed, but not impeccably so. They bring in the various pieces of your luggage, and you are led inside. She offers you a... Would you like a hot meal as well? Your journey was quite long, I imagine. And
Yes.
good. I will have it prepared for you. Snaps her fingers, and one of the servants snaps her feet, takes your luggage up to somewhere. I will take you to your rooms after we've eaten.
The obvious one, if anyone is a Vaesen, I will keep an eye.
No one here. As far as you
Yeah,
can
I
tell.
figured that was the case, yeah.
Yep.
But, yeah.
The hand-carved nature motifs are recurring inside the house as well as outside, and in this dark place they cast strange shadows and give you the impression that things will pounce and jump at you. It is a very uncomfortable place to be in.
This nature motif,
Mm-hmm.
does it have any supernatural leanings to it? Like, is it meant to like repel or attract Vaesen or anything like that?
Make me a learning logic roll.
Okay.
Can anyone do so?
Yeah.
Bagel.
That's gonna happen a lot.
Yeah.
Bagel.
Sorry, which one? Learning, did you say?
Mhm.
Learning logic.
No.
As far as you know, no.
No.
Madam, may I also ask?
Yes.
I was raised in a good Christian household. May
Of
I
course.
ask? The church, when does it conduct its services?
In the morning, 9. In the morning of the first church bell.
And evensong? Or is there no such?
Not after here, no.
So
And unless, if you would inquire further in the priest, perhaps he would arrange a
of
special.
course.
While they're bringing things in,
Mm-hmm. They bring in a plates of, hold on, I gotta get this right, venison beer, and all the beer has, along with it, a bottle of something called aquavit.
It's whiskey.
It's very strong.
It's
whiskey.
very extremely strong whiskey.
Yeah, 60%.
so, but I mean before that. So as we've got out the carriage, in an act of role playing that is a terrible idea, but I need to do it.
Sure.
I will take my dog for a walk around the immediate grounds.
Lila.
Not.
Sure.
He needs to be walked. I'm not going to. The plan is not to leave the house.
Be careful.
Yeah. So it's.
Oh yeah.
It's literally just a walk around this building.
Yeah.
I'm
That was an entirely in character
Yeah.
Lila. As Joe,
It
I
is-
was delighted for this to happen.
It is. They will be fine. There is no danger in the village that I am aware of. Yes, please enjoy your meal. I will have something brought for the dog shortly.
You will note that Sir Thomas is an early adopter of this newfangled concept of vegetarianism.
Interesting. Oh, yeah.
Are you not? Do you not?
I find I have a constitution which does not agree with meat.
I have potatoes. Then I can have those brought for you.
It would be delightful.
Of course. And snaps her fingers again, and a servant comes over. Potatoes.
It's a very good finger snap.
Thank you.
Look how crisp that is on the waveform.
Ooh.
Oh!
Has the potatoes brought out, and eventually, when you go for your walk in the dark, you don't notice anything. Your dog does its business very quickly. It's been trained to not meander or bother too long, and you return. By the time you get back, there's a bowl placed for your dog for its meal. And you sit down to have your meal of venison, beer, aquavit.
Beer, whiskey, bread and potatoes.
It says that specifically.
Yeah, that's
as well.
great. I love it.
For those who are inexperienced with aquavit, it is very strong.
Whiskey, the Irish word whiskey, which is Oasgaet or something, is the original Gaelic. Comes from, by a very roundabout etymology, from aqua vitae, which is the Latin word water of life.
Well, I shall retire early for the evening.
Very well. Yeah, I'll have some food. I'll have
That's right.
probably a beer, and then was it
Aquavit.
Yeah, aquavit. But a nightcap as well, because we've got to work in the morning, and
There you go.
it's
You watch her pound one of these back.
Yeah. For me, it's
There's a lot to blot out.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's more to calm the nerves and ensure that I sleep well, kind of thing.
Might I inquire while you are here? I know that you are investigating Mr. Hammerstrom's disappearance, but beyond that, what have you? Do you have any questions for me? Anything I can help you with?
Well, where was Mr. Hammersmith last seen?
Mr. Hammerstrom.
Hammerstrom. Apologies.
That's-
Hammerstrom.
It's perfectly all right. It's
Yes.
not mine.
Apollo
anymore.
Hammersmith, his name was.
Jeez. The village is Mr. Hammerstone. The last place I believe I saw them was, well, between you and me, I believe they were speaking quite clandestinely to the priest.
Oh.
The priest is named?
The priest's name is... There it is. Ingvar Nystrom is his name. Yes.
May I,
Yes. The father is...
elderly?
Well, he is getting on in years, but he has been with the village for quite some time now.
Who is the oldest among the village?
She thinks from probably Mr. Nystrom, I think. Yes, the Father Nystrom.
And is it noted when he arrived in the village?
When did he arrive? Oh. When did he arrive?
The scariest of all lycanthropes, the were priest.
He's been here for many decades at this point, longer than as long as I can remember. I think.
Yeah.
Yes, as long as I can remember. Not, but there was a priest before him.
Did he look suspiciously like that priest?
It
Because this was
when I
his
was
father.
It was when I was a small child that he joined.
Okay, so she remembers a time before that. Fuck me. Cool. She remembers a time before that priest arrived.
Yes, yes.
When was the town founded?
Ooh, quite a long time ago. I think the same time as the church, 340 years, something like
The
that.
buildings here are more recent.
Yes, well, fires, wood doesn't last forever, of course. Even the best of woods, and ours is some of the best.
Your,
My home is one of the oldest.
yes, I must say, it's quite an impressive. The architecture and the design is rather unique.
Yes, my family has been here for a very, very long time. The Colstroms have been in this village, have been its heart for as long as anyone can remember.
Did you yourself meet the unfortunate Mr. Harm?
Yes, Mr. Hammerstone. As I did. He inquired about selling my lands and my sawmill, and I told him I needed to think about it.
And was he agreeable to your
Oh yes,
hesitation? And
of course, yes. He was
do I
not
get a
pushy.
sense that that's true?
Yeah, you can make a observation.
And that's observation empathy, yeah?
Mm-hmm. She seems very engaged in this conversation she's having with Sir Thomas. She seems to have lost track of you somehow. Like she's so focused on this conversation that you could go wander somewhere if you wish to do so.
I got nothing on the empathy,
Okay.
or whatever it was, the observation.
Yep.
Could we make a note to have our resident nerd make a check when he gets back?
You can do. Would you like to do something called pushing the roll?
What does that mean?
It means you do the roll again.
Mm-hmm.
If you fail again, though,
Mhm.
you will take a mental condition, become stressed in some way. So in this case, it'll be angered.
I'm gonna risk it for a biscuit. 3 successes.
Wow.
On 3 dice.
Very
Wow.
nice.
I was looking at that, just had to double take it.
You get the feeling when she says, it's not that she's lying when she says that Hammerstone was fine with it, considering it was like that all seems up board. When she says that I was going to take time to consider, that's a bald-faced lie. There was no consideration in her at all.
So you were most certain that... what decision... Sorry, I'm going to... Blah, 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 brain. I think what... Yeah. Give me a second.
Mhm.
And what deliberation did you reach eventually?
I'm still deciding. Again, from the previous, she's not. She has already made some decision. You get the feeling that with 3...
What I feel is that she sicked something on that guy.
You get the feeling that she was never considering selling her land.
Yeah,
she was just trying to get him
that's
to go
what-
away.
Cool. Yeah, so so I think she consciously or unconsciously loosed something on this dude.
She also mentioned that the priest and Hammerstrom had a clandestine meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
Just so for
the upshot was, she did meet with Hammerstrom and Lundstrom. She said to me, in a huge lie, that she said, "Oh, maybe I'll consider it. I'm thinking about it," and then didn't see him again. She absolutely decided straight away that she definitely wasn't selling, and is still insisting upon being pressed that she definitely didn't. That she's still considering it now.
She has no intention to sell, regardless of how much money.
The priest has been here an incredibly long time, but according to her at least, within her lifetime.
There was brief mention about a potential fire as to why all of the other buildings have been...
Or multiple fires.
Yeah.
Also, her family has been here as long as the church.
So... Yeah. She's also very engrossed in the conversation, to the point that she seems to be ignoring definitely me, possibly yourself.
So you wander off and go to sleep, and no one follows you, no servants or anything of that nature.
Can I follow where the servants are going? Like, do they have
They have servants' quarters. On the
more
grounds.
specifically, now after the food's been taken away, can I don't know how uncouth it would be to sort of pop my head into like food preparation
The kitchen,
areas.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that if you want. You pop your head in, you see a chef closing down the kitchen for the night, turning off the stoves. They would be dousing the fires and things of that nature to make sure that nothing burns
So
down.
nothing goes on
Yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Smart.
And they would be holding out lanterns to light the way.
I will. So, firstly, do I see any Vaesen?
Nope.
Cool. Okay. And then, secondly, to cover the fact that I've come in here, I will just sort of thank the chef, and then
They nod. They don't even speak to you. They just kind of nod.
Who asked if there's a bone for the dog?
yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, do you have a bone or a snack that you can?
Points to a stock pot that seems to be boiling in the corner, or was boiling in the corner.
Yes. May I?
Like you do this low-eyed stare and just points again.
Okay.
And again,
Thank you.
human.
Yeah. He just turns around, opens
Okay.
the door, exits the room, and goes out into the servants' areas.
So yeah, can I take a bone
Yeah,
or a
you
snack?
pull the bone out. Comes out of this stock pot and was making some kind of beef
Venison
stock,
bone?
venison stock. Yeah, it could be it could be a deer, could be some kind of boar. You're not sure. Well, actually, you're a hunter. It's probably a
Okay.
deer.
Okay.
Is that could I make a medicine check to make sure of that fact?
Huron talking to
I
the-
Oh,
can
okay,
do it,
okay.
right. So that was going to be my.
Are you going to go looking around? You don't. You're a hunter. You
Oh, okay,
don't-
cool,
You
cool.
definitely
Yeah,
know
perfect.
this is from deer.
Okay, cool.
Do you want to explore anywhere else? Do you want to explore anywhere else, Joshua? Do you want to have a snoop around the house?
I think I would like to have a snoop around the house for anything interesting.
Cool. Make me a stealth check. And what are you doing?
Can I make a note of? Does the architecture, like the nature pattern, go throughout the entire house, including within the servant areas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got a single success on 3 dice.
That's enough.
In that case, I will probably retire because I've already had a couple of drinks.
Retire. I'm going to retire because this career honestly seems like it's going nowhere.
As you go to retire, you
Yeah.
find a bunk bed with a bunch of bunk beds, basically. With some, there are separate ones for you and for you. Don't expect to see Joshua or the gentleman there. So there's a place for you to sleep. Put your head down for the night and rest. You find, as you sneak around the house, you find Marta Kohlstrom's study. And on her bureau is a letter.
Oh, damn.
Diggity daffodil. As I'm going to bed, probably I do just straight after the meal, I will, once Joshua gets in, I'm going to sort of loop little bits of thread around the windowsills and the doors in order that if they are broken while we are asleep, we would be able to tell in the morning.
Sure.
Okay.
You can keep the letter. Well, do you keep the letter?
I do not keep the letter.
Okay, that's fine.
But out of character.
You can keep the letter out of character. You can keep the letter because
Okay.
otherwise you might not remember what's in there.
Yeah, that's fine. As soon as I'm somewhere safe, I'll be writing down
Sure.
exactly what was in there, so I
Yeah,
can
that's fine.
relate this to people later.
Eventually, your conversation with Marta goes late into the evening. There is no sign of a husband. She has no wedding ring at all, and no sign that she ever wore one.
No children in the house.
No.
No pets.
Nope.
Not
She
even
is
a cat.
not even a cat. Mr. I'm sorry, I did not get your name.
Sir Thomas Wick.
Sir Thomas Wick. Is there a Mrs. Thomas? Mrs. Wick, sorry.
Yes.
Very well. Will you be staying up or enjoying my company together, or would you prefer to have an early night?
I shall retire. Much work to be done on the morrow.
Very well. I shall leave you to it then. The bunk beds are yours.
Most gracious.
I
Thank
have
you for
already
your
provided a
hospitality.
room for your for the other hunter who was with you and your writer friend.
On our way in, we encountered a cat.
Oh yes, there are a few in the village. They deal with the mice, the rats.
Yes, it was on your drive as we arrived. It wasn't lost. You'd expect to be. I'd hate for someone's beloved pet to go astray.
There are a number of things within the forests. The cats, while they are plentiful, have on occasion disappear, and that is just the nature of the area.
I didn't clock anything when I said the word cat on her face.
Make an observation check.
Observation.
Yeah.
That is still 3 dice. No successes. Can I push this one?
You can push it, but you're going to take condition.
Hey, no! 1 success.
That's enough not taking condition. You know, when you say cat, there is a look of recognition, but it's not. It's like, oh, you mean like when you say cat, she's expecting a different animal, like not cat, like something else, something, and oh, it's in the driveway. Yeah, it's fine. No, it's not mine. I don't own any of the animals myself. We keep the rats out a different way.
Yes, well, Mrs. Wick was very fond of
Poison.
the Lady Wick was very fond of cats, so I have a soft spot for them for myself.
Very well. Most are friendly and tame, so you may approach them as you wish.
I bid you good night.
Yes, good night. Wishes good night, and you leave, and the 3 of you go to bed.
And are we in the same room?
You two would be.
Okay.
I would not
In that
be.
case, silently I will hand you the transcription that I took in my notebook of the letter I found. And I'll say letter I found on the top.
In my diary, in like a back page, I silently write out basically the results of my conversation, that she's totally lying about the fact that she was considering selling, etc. The word cat didn't trigger something, but there was something in there, and the fact that I'm immediately suspicious of this woman.
Okay. In my book, I'll have written that I found this letter in her study. Obviously, she is not the
Sender or recipient.
correct. But also interesting to note that Mr. Mayor was
Aware and considered what was under the church the lion's share,
and said that the church will have to be demolished.
which he did not reveal to us. Well, again, this will be written, but
Yes.
which he did not feel like sharing with us initially.
No.
To bed then.
And to bed. And the night ends. Quietly. This time.
You best believe I'm up for morning service.
Yeah.
God-fearing man,
There
especially
are.
now.
I will ask, because it is now 10:15. Is there a cutoff for anyone?
Not for me.
No.
Nope.
Okay. So then I will. Basically, it's my own cutoff. So
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're in the driver's seat. I'm
I'm
always
in the
around
driver's
here. Yeah.
I'm gonna put it off at 10:30, so same as normal time.
Yeah,
just because if I don't get home.
No, yeah, that's
Yeah, no, it's understandable.
I say the choice is very literally yours here.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah,
If you wanted to call it here, then that would be perfectly fine.
That's actually not a bad point, because then
It is a good stopping point.
Because the next day there's potentially a shit ton of stuff to do.
Oh boy, is there.
In that
Yeah.
case, for the benefit of the recording, I'll read the letter I found in
Ooh.
full, because I was going to say that when we were outside somewhere secluded, would read this to. I forget your character's name.
Layla.
Sorry,
Lila.
Lila. I'm writing this in response to your previous letter regarding the developments in Farnster. In addition to purchasing its fertile forests, the discovery of an iron deposit has made securing Farnster a top priority. It is my understanding that most of it is located under the village church, which will have to be demolished, but I shall naturally finance the construction of a new one. With a majority of landowners on my side, this will not be a problem. Offer them whatever it takes. This deal must go through till the most valuable ore is at stake.
The majority of landowners.
I mean, I imagine there's probably 2 landowners that are holdouts.
Is this written or typed?
This would be written.
Does it match the handwriting
Of the
of
letter that we got from Augustine von Meyer.
It would, yes.
So, well, yeah. Lots to do in the morning.
Lots to do in the morning next time, which I don't know when that will be.
No.
Perhaps Rich will be able to join you. Wow.
Yes.
Toy.
I mean, I did. I have got a slot scheduled for the spooky Halloween one shot.
It's true. It's a good point.
He could be Hammerstrom, who's happy, healthy, and alive. I heard the beginning of the pronunciation of that syllable there, Brad.
If any of you think he's alive,
Bad news.
I got some bad news for you, and I got a bridge I want to sell you.
I mean, actually, in some sense, it's reassuring that he's not alive.
Do you want the bad news first, or would you like this bridge?
Because, yeah, if he's dead, then
Yeah.
At least the worst has happened.
yeah.
Oh, there are far worse things.
Oh, okay. The worst can't happen anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note,
Yep.